Dear students, welcome to the online English class. This is Ramesh Babu. Today I am going to explain the poem Digging. Digging was written by Seamus Heaney. His full name was Seamus Justin Heaney. He was an Irish poet, playwright, and translator. He was born on 13th April 1939 in Northern Ireland. He died on 30th August 2013. His occupation was mainly a poet, playwright, and translator. Some notable works of Seamus Justin Heaney are Death of a Naturalist, which was written in Death of a Naturalist, North Field Walk, The Spirit Level, etc. He was awarded Geoffrey Faber Memorial Prize in the year 1968, E.M. Foster Award in the year 1975, and he was also given Nobel Prize in Literature in the year 1995. This is all about the poet. Now let us look at the poem. Between my finger and my thumb, the squat pen rests snug as a gun. Under my window, a clean rasping sound when the spade sinks into gravelly ground. My father digging, I look down. My father digging, I look down. Now let me explain the meaning of first stanza. Before going to explain the meaning of first stanza, let me tell you the difficult words which are used in stanza 1. In the first stanza, there are two difficult words. The first word is squat. Squat means short or thick. And the second word is snug. Snug means comfortable. These are the two difficult words which are used in the stanza 1. Let us discuss about the first stanza. Here in the first stanza, the speaker starts the poem saying that there is a short, thick pen resting between his finger and his thumb. Okay, here actually there is a short and thick pen between his finger and thumb. Here the poet compares the pen to a gun which is in compatible position. Okay. Now let us discuss stanza 2. In this second stanza, the poet used 3 difficult words there. The first one is rasping. Rasping means rough or harsh. Of course, the second one is spade. Spade means shovel. And the third word is gravelly. Gravelly means rough or harsh. These are the 3 new words which are used in stanza 2. Now let us discuss the meaning of second stanza. In this second stanza, the poet says that he hears a clear, rough, harsh sound under the window of his room, that is, outside the room. He further says that the sound is emanating from the act of digging the rough, harsh ground with a spade. That means here the poet hears a sound through the window outside the room. That sound is from the act of digging. Okay, the worker who is digging is none other than his father. Actually, here the person who is digging outside the room is poet's father. The poet looked down the window to watch his father digging. Okay, this is the meaning of stanza 2. Now let us look at the stanza 3. Till is straining rump among the flowers' beds, bends low, comes up 20 years away, stooping in rhythm, through potato drills where he was digging. Now let us know the meaning of difficult words. In this third stanza, there are 3 difficult words. The first one is rump, means the hind part of the body. You can see the picture in this slide. And the second word is stooping. Stooping means bending low. The third word is potato drills, means evenly spaced rows of potatoes in a field. Okay, these are the new words. Now let us discuss the meaning of third stanza. In the third stanza, the speaker gives further information about the activity under his window. The speaker's father is straining there, digging the land. His back is bending down and coming up. While bending down and digging, the father's feature is visible in the present times. But when he comes up, the speaker's vision sees his father in the past days. That is, the speaker's memories went back to past days when his father used to dig in the potato drills. Okay. Now let us look at the stanza 4. The coarse boot nestled on the leg, the shaft against the inside knee was levered firmly. He rooted out till tops buried the bright edge deep to scatter new potatoes that we picked, loving their cool hardness in our hands. This is the stanza 4. In this stanza there are 3 new words or difficult words. They are, the first word is nestle. Nestle means settle. Leg means the lower part of the shoe. And one more word is also here, that is scatter. Scatter means spread or disperse. Okay, now let us discuss the meaning of stanza 4. The rough boots of the speaker's father firmly and comfortably stand on the support of the leg. The father of the speaker balanced firmly the shaft. Here shaft means the long handle of the spade. Okay. So the father of the speaker balanced firmly the shaft against his knee and rooted out the tops of the potatoes. Okay. By burying the bright and sharp edge of the spade in the ground, the father is unearthing the potatoes and scattering them. The poet and his grandfather were collecting the potatoes. Here the poet says he and his father were collecting the potatoes. The fresh potatoes were hard and cool. Actually, the potatoes were fresh, hard and cool. And the poet could feel the hardness of the potatoes. The poet feels the hardness of the potatoes. Okay. And stanza 5. Of course, here there are only 2 lines in stanza 5. They are, by God, the old man could handle a spade, just like his old man. By God, the old man could handle a spade just like his old man. In this stanza, the poet says that the old man, that is, his father, was handling the spade just like his father. Here the poet, his father means poet's father, handling the spade just like his grandfather. Okay. That means here the poet introduced his grandfather. In the 5th stanza, the poet introduced his grandfather. Okay. Now let us look at the stage 6. My grandfather cut more tough in a day than any other man on Tana's bog. Once I carried milk in bottle, cocked sloppily with pepper. He straightened up to drink it, then filled to right away, nicking and slicing neatly, having swords over his shoulder, going down and down for the good turf digging. This is the lengthy stanza. Of course, in this sixth stanza, there are three difficult words. They are, the first word is tough. Tough, T-U-R-F, tough means grass and the surface layer of the earth held together by its roots. I repeat, tough means grass and the surface layer of earth held together by its roots. And one more word is bog, means an area of wet muddy ground. Bog means an area of wet muddy ground. And the third word is sloppily. Sloppily means loosely or carelessly. Sloppily means loosely or carelessly. Okay, now let us discuss the meaning of sixth stanza. In this sixth stanza, the poet is saying that his grandfather cut more grass in a day than any other man of their area. The poet says that as a child, once he carried milk to his he carried milk in a bottle for his grandfather. The bottle was covered with a piece of paper. Then his grandfather drank the milk and again immediately fell back to his work of cutting the grass and throwing it over his shoulder. The poet's grandfather used to go on digging the land further and further to find good turf. Now let us look at the seventh stanza. The cold smell of potato mold, the squelch and slap of soggy peat, the cuts of an edge through living roots awaken in my head, but I have no spade to follow men like them. This is the seventh stanza. In this stanza, the poet used a word potato mold. Potato mold means land where potatoes are grown. Okay, the poet says the potato mold is cold and has a distinct smell. The wet and soft land is making sound when the feet and hands of the workers enter into it and cut the edges with spades. Okay, the land is making noise, which is a different noise when the workers enter into it and cut the edges with spades. Then the memories of the memory of the cutting and the other workers in the potato pits recurred to the speaker. Of course, here in this stanza, the poet says that he has no spade like his father and grandfather to follow their footsteps and work in the fields. Okay, here poet strongly says that he has no spade like his father and grandfather to follow their footsteps and work in the fields. And the last stanza, between my fingers and my thumb the squared pen rests. I will dig with it. Of course, in this final stanza, the poet tells about the resolution of the poet. The speaker says that he has no spade with him to dig like his father and grandfather, but he has the thick sharp pen between his finger and his thumb. He says that he will dig with his pen now. In the last stanza, the poet says that both his father and grandfather digging the potatoes with spades. But here the poet has no spade with him to follow his ancestors. Ancestors means here poet's father and his grandfather. But the poet decided to dig with his pen. Okay, this is the some stanza-wise meaning of the poem. Now let us look at the total. Now let me explain the total summary of the poem. Actually, the poem starts off in the present and moves into the past, and then returns to the present and hints at the future towards the end. While holding a pen between his finger and his thumb, the poet reflects upon the rural history of his family. The poem starts with the poet description of his father working under the window with his spade. His father was digging the garden. Here the notable fact is that the speaker holds a pen like a gun, which is a symbol of the power of the present, while the spade used by his father is a thing of the past. Looking at his father digging, the poet goes back to the memories of 20 years past. In the past, his father used digging in the potato drills. The poet also used to involved in collecting the potatoes that were dug by his father. He still remembers their coolness and hardness. The poet says that his father was able to handle the spade just like his father. That means his grandfather. Now the memory of the poet further shifts to his childhood days when he saw his grandfather digging a turf. His grandfather was a best cutter of turf in that area. The poet says that now he has no spade to follow in the footsteps of his father and grandfather. Okay, finally the poet says that he has no spade like with him to follow his father and his grandfather, but he too can dig with his pen. Thus, the poem presents both nostalgic feelings of the poets as well as the difference between the occupations from one generation to the other generation. While the past generation used spade to dig the field to do cultivation, the present generation used the pen to enlighten the society with writings. Okay, of course, here poet also was digging, but he was digging his past memories. Okay, so that is the poem digging. Thank you.